When you're dealing with tactical gear, your knife isn't just an accessory, it's a lifeline. And that's exactly where US-made blades separate themselves from the pack. Built strong, with high-quality materials, precise engineering, and careful attention to the little details. Yeah, the market's packed with knives that look aggressive or come with some flashy tactical label, but most of them tap out the moment you ask them to do anything beyond slice tape. So in this video, we're going to show you the 25 best USA-made tactical military knives that are definitely worth knowing about. Updated price and purchase links are provided in the description below for your convenience. Subscribe if you haven't already, and let's begin. Rolling right into something built for people who cannot afford a gear malfunction, the Tops Milspy 5 brings that mission-first attitude. It came from a real military development program where special forces got to help design their own gear, so this thing was literally built from their feedback. And yeah, this one is built in the USA, so you can tell it's made to last. This one basically is made for soldiers, operators, or anyone working in extreme situations. The blade length is 5 inches, and it's 1095 high-carbon steel, hardened between RC 56 and 58 for that perfect mix of edge retention and easy maintenance. It's got a flat grind that slices cleanly, plus partial serrations for cutting rope or webbing. The black traction coating keeps light from reflecting off it. The handle is black canvas micarta with tops dot grip, strong, secure, and easy to hold even when wet. You can even remove the handle scales to make the knife slimmer for missions where weight matters. The Kydex sheath locks the knife in tight and uses a spring steel clip so you can carry it however you like. It's easy to maintain in the wild, sharp, out of the box, and balanced enough for heavier tasks. Just keep in mind the carbon steel needs a little extra care, but it rewards you with solid performance every time. If you wanted a folder that feels like zero tolerance going back to their roots, the 0203 pretty much answer that call with a beefy, purpose-built design. It's made in the USA, so the quality is quite good and you can feel the precision in every detail. And it represents the company doubling down on that philosophy after listening to community feedback about returning to their roots. The 0.16-inch thickness gives it that extra heft most folders don't have, and the black PVD coating protects it from rust and wear. The blade is 4 inches of CPM M4 steel, which is famous for its insane edge retention and toughness. It's hardened to around 60 to 62 HRC, making it strong enough for tough cutting jobs. The Duralock system replaces the old liner lock with a solid steel crossbar that feels incredibly sturdy when you're really pressing down. The G10 handle is textured for great grip and shaped to sit comfortably in your hand. Inside, steel liners and a big custom pivot bolt keep everything secure and adjustable for the long haul. In use, the 0203 feels dependable and you can really lean on it without worry. It's heavier than most everyday folders, and the M4 steel takes some effort to sharpen, but the reliability you get in return is worth it. When you're in a situation where you need a blade to pop out fast with just one hand, the CRKT-Zolot automatic steps in like it's been waiting for the signal. This one is designed by Michael Rodriguez, a former Green Beret. That one-handed action works with gloves and is handy outdoors, in tactical moments or in emergencies. It uses a dual-action OTF system with a spine-mounted slider, push forward to deploy and pull back to retract. The 3.5-inch spear point blade is forged from MagnaCut steel, ground on both edges for cutting efficiency, and finished with a titanium nitride coating for durability. Rodriguez added 21 skeletal ribs on the machined aluminum handle, one for each year of service. People praise the fast deployment and simple mechanics. At just 3.2 ounces, it feels lightweight in your pocket, and the MagnaCut holds an edge well. The reversible pocket clip supports left or right carry. Though the OTF mechanism adds complexity, the double-edged blade isn't ideal for single-edge tasks, and MagnaCut can be harder to touch up in the field than basic carbon steels. But overall, built in the USA, this model really feels made for serious operators. Moving from rugged folders to something almost iconic, the Socom Elite stands out as that trusted go-to for anyone who relies on their knife in life-or-death moments. So, basically, it has been their go-to since back in 1996, and it's easy to see why. The name Socom actually comes from the US Special Operations Command. So yeah, it's named after some serious people, and it definitely lives up to that reputation. Now, talking about its blade materials, which are actually top-notch, every edge is hand-sharpened before leaving the factory, and the build feels quite solid in hand. It's the kind of blade made for people who actually depend on their gear when things get intense. The modern Socom Elite uses a 4-inch two-tone drop-point blade made from premium steel that perfectly balances edge retention and corrosion resistance. That means it stays sharp and doesn't rust easily, even in rough or changing conditions. The aluminum handle has a unique contoured shape that naturally fits your hand, with textured rubber inlays that give you excellent grip, even if your hands are wet or oily. It's built in the USA, so the quality is quite good and feels reliable right out of the box. Overall, it's tough and made to survive battlefield-level abuse. Sure, it's an investment, but it's one that's built to last for years. For a blade that carries real military respect behind its design, the Ranger Bootlegger brings that Ranger-minded practicality front and center. Well, this isn't just another tactical knife. It was actually made out of real respect for the US Army Rangers and what they stand for. It's made from 1095 high-carbon steel, hardened to RC 56 to 58 for serious strength and easy maintenance out in the field. And it's got a 5-inch fixed blade. The spear point shape gives you great tip strength and piercing power. The slim profile gives it good precision for tight cuts, something Rangers value for real operations. And yeah, this one is also USA made, so the quality feels solid all around. Weighing about 7.3 ounces, it feels sturdy but not too heavy, and the contoured black G10 handle provides a secure grip even when things get messy. The full tang design makes it basically indestructible, with the steel running all the way through the handle. It comes with a tough Kydex sheath and a nylon clip for easy carry. Sure, since it's a fixed blade, it's not as convenient as a folder for daily pocket carry. But for the price, you're getting serious professional-grade performance that punches way above its cost. And the Bootlegger performs great for fieldwork, survival, or general cutting. Sharp, balanced, and practical. If you're already vibing with Microtech's precision, the LUT Gen 3 slides right in as the smooth, refined evolution of a classic automatic, and built with that unmistakable Microtech attention to detail. We really appreciate how Microtech didn't just copy the old model, as the LUT knife was built for underwater operations decades ago, and the Gen 3 is an evolution of the original LUT, and they refined it. The handle is where we notice a lot of the subtle improvements. Inlays add grip and style, the Torx screws make maintenance easier, and the overall ergonomics feel natural in our hand. Then there's the pivot. The silica carbide ball bearing system makes opening quite smooth while still feeling bit solid in hand, which we actually value in a tactical folder. The blade steel, Boulder M390MK, is a step up from conventional M390, holding an edge really well, resisting corrosion, and slicing cleanly. We do notice that, being an automatic, some people might be cautious about carrying it, but for those who can carry it, it's a sharp, ultra-reliable tool. Overall, this USA-made knife feels like a compact and tactical in your pocket, built to perform day in and day out. When you're expecting a knife to take punishment without flinching, the SOG Seal Commander jumps in with the confidence of a field-tested tool. Its CPMS-35VN blade comes razor-sharp and ready to take serious abuse right out of the box. It might seem small, but when we choke down, we get precise control that feels reassuring in tricky situations. So, here we really appreciate the finger choil. And here, the 5.2 5-inch clip point blade gives a balance of slicing and piercing ability, which we really like for a tactical setup. Plus, the micarta handle is quite comfortable, and we appreciate how it fills the hand without feeling bulky. It's the kind of grip that stays secure even when wet, sweaty, or messy. which is critical for any military or survival use. The knife comes with a Kydex sheath that grips firmly but doesn't make drawing difficult, so it's ready when we are. While the handle can feel a bit stiff at first, but it breaks in and molds to your hand over time. But being proudly USA made adds that extra layer of confidence. We know it's built to last. Overall, we can say, this knife is a tactical companion that's well-balanced and practical in every situation. If you've ever liked the old-school toughness of the CQC7, then have a look at the Turbo 7. It feels like the upgraded version that still hits all the right notes. It carries that same toughness, but levels it up with updated materials and a more refined attitude. And you can feel the same kind of confidence in the grind and purposeful feel. Okay, here the first thing you notice is that blade. It's that chisel ground Tonto Emerson's known for. It bites in hard and stays tough. And with MagnaCut steel, it's a serious step forward. This stuff holds an edge like it shrugs off rust even if you're out in the elements all week. It's not a featherweight at just under 5 ounces, but that extra heft makes it feel solid, not cheap. And the G10 handle has Emerson's usual gritty texture, and it's almost too grippy at first, but it wears in nicely. It's the kind of knife that looks better the more you beat it up. We like the way it fills the palm, full traction from base to pommel. All told, the Turbo 7 feels like what Emerson does best, a straight-shooting, American-made workhorse that's meant to be used, not babied. When the outdoors demands a blade that won't choke under real wilderness pressure, the MKC Marshall Bushcraft steps up like a seasoned guide. This knife is designed by bladesmith Josh Smith to take on Montana's toughest terrain, like Montana's Bob Marshall Wilderness. Now, talking about its overall length. Over 12 inches, we can say, this knife is big, with a massive blade close to 8 inches made from cryo-treated high-carbon ball-bearing steel. This steel combo gives you top-notch toughness. And the thick blade spine, around 0.17 inches, combined with flat-sided G10 handles, makes this knife strong enough for heavy batoning while keeping your hand from slipping during chopping. People also love how balanced it feels despite its size. Handling it isn't as intimidating as you might think. It works well for chopping firewood or even camp cooking. But it's a hefty knife, nearly 10 ounces, so if you want to keep your pack light, it might not be ideal. It's also on the pricier side, but MKC includes lifetime sharpening and repairs through their Generations program, which adds a lot of value. So if you want a well-built survival knife that can tackle serious outdoor tasks, the MKC Marshall Bushcraft is definitely a strong choice. If you need a field knife that feels like pure survival insurance, the Demko Free Rein in 3V steel brings tank-like toughness to the table. This knife feels like a survival tank in your hand, and it's built from solid CPM3 V steel with a full tang design. Also, let us tell you, this isn't some weekend camping blade. It's the kind of tool designed to take on the battlefield without compromise. Plus, the US-made build makes it a trusted companion for military professionals and hardcore survivalists. Here, we appreciate its sheath system. You can completely take it apart for cleaning. And that might sound like a small detail, but in muddy, bloody, or sandy environments, keeping your gear clean can be the difference between staying sharp and failing when you need it most. Then there's the handle, rubberized and injection molded with aggressive texturing. Basically, it locks into your hand whether you're in gloves, soaked in rain, or even dealing with less than ideal situations. Here, the flat grind makes cutting efficient, while the drop point shape gives it real piercing power. People often say it feels balanced enough to become an extension of your arm, which explains why it's used for everything from splitting firewood to backing you up in combat. So many professionals keep it close because it's not flashy, it's just reliable. Following up with an OTF legend, the Ultratech Gen 3 shows how Microtech keeps leveling up without losing what made it famous in the first place. It keeps the spirit of the original alive while fine-tuning everything, from its smoother mechanics to its more user-friendly construction. What really stands out are the upgrades: the crud cutter, the dual-fuel drivetrain, and zero blade play. Those aren't just fancy names, they make the mechanism smoother, more responsive, and rock-solid when locked. Now, the M390 MK blade steel delivers that sharp, long-lasting edge we expect from Microtech, and the deployment speed is addictive. There's a crisp authority every time the blade fires out. The built-in glass breaker is a small but welcome touch for anyone who uses this in real emergency situations. The aluminum handle, made from 6061T6, feels light but strong, and the new torque screw construction makes maintenance a little easier, something we appreciate when you actually carry these tools every day. And being USA made, it represents the top tier of American machining, and for those who love OTFs, this one's easily a must-see evolution. Well, we'll admit it's not the lightest OTF out there, and it can feel a bit mechanical in hand, but that's part of its character. It's built like a precision instrument. When you'd rather carry a blade that can take a beating instead of babying it, the BK2 shows up like a brick of survival steel. Well, this isn't your lightweight slicer. It's basically a survival tool built to take whatever you throw at it, and then some. Designed by Ethan Becker, it's a chunk of 1095 Crovan steel that can take serious abuse. You don't have to worry about snapping it because it has the .2 5-inch thick blade. Okay, here, we'll be honest, it's not a slicer. That extra thickness makes it feel more like a mini pry bar, which can be both good and bad depending on what you need. And you can use it for batoning wood, food prep, even hammering tent stakes, and it just keeps going. Plus, its Zytel handle feels solid, though it's a bit plain, and after long use, it can feel slightly hard on the hand. Still, it provides a good grip. Here, the molded polymer sheath is no nonsense and keeps the knife locked in securely, though it's not the quietest when drawing. At nearly a pound, it's hefty, but we don't mind that because the weight matches its purpose. Proudly made in the USA, the BK2 isn't about finesse. It's actually about reliability when you're deep in the woods and need a tool that won't fail. If you want stiletto flair without the delicate build, the Kershaw Launch 8-blend style with actual day-to-day usability. It's fast and quite practical for everyday carry, despite its classic Italian-inspired lines. The stiletto-inspired deep-top grind keeps weight down, and at roughly under 3 ounces, it doesn't add weight in the pocket, which we like for day-to-day carry when we don't want bulk. That thin CPM 154 blade gives you good cutting performance and edge holding, but without the hulking feel of a tactical knife. The handle is clean and narrow. 6061T6 aluminum, so it's light but still stiff, and the carbon fiber insert hiding the pivot gives the knife a tidy look. We appreciate the integrated finger guards top and bottom. They make the design feel safer than a traditional stiletto, especially when you're using it for quick cuts. The push-button opener is low profile, though that same low profile means you sometimes have to fish around a bit to flick it open in gloves. Still, made in the USA and carrying that stiletto style, the Launch 8 is a neat, pocket-friendly piece that feels smartly modernized. When you want something more tool-first than flashy, the Hogue SIG EXF03 fits that mission-focused vibe perfectly. Its compact hawkbill blade bites deep into tough material, making it perfect for real tactical work, not just show. It bites down on line work and strap or cord cutting really well with its 2.25-inch 154-centimeter edge. The hawkbill blade is a specialist shape. The hollow, flat grind and hand-honed edge mean it comes sharp and stays useful. Plus, the G10 scales feel solid in the hand. They aren't trying to be fancy, just reliable under hard use. At a bit over 5 ounces, it's heavier than the slim folders to carry, but that weight makes it feel like a proper fixed-blade tool rather than an afterthought. Here, the sheath option is a nylon belt with a rotating clip. And the bolt-around neck that gives versatility for carry setups and compatibility with Tech-Lock systems is a nice, practical touch for mounting. The Cerakote finish on the blade helps hide wear, but the hawkbill profile narrows its use, great for cutting webbing, rope, and similar tasks, less ideal for general camp chores or food prep. The EXF03 is a pragmatic little fighter, built with American craftsmanship in mind. It's specific in purpose, dependable, and solid in build. If you're looking for a single knife that can basically play multiple roles outdoors, the Tom Brown Tracker jumps in like a whole toolkit in one piece. This one is known for its multi-edged blade, and many people recognize it from the movie The Hunted. But this knife is far more than just Hollywood fame. It's basically a full survival kit in a single piece of steel. This one knife can cover chopping, slicing, carving, and skinning tasks without switching tools, because instead of a single cutting edge, the massive 5.7-inch blade carries multiple edges in one. The steel is 154 centimeters stainless, heat-treated, and cryo-tempered to a Rockwell hardness between 58 and 60. This gives it the toughness needed to survive heavy batoning or chopping without fear of breaking. With a thickness built for abuse, the tracker can take on firewood, vegetation, or bone. At around 18 ounces, the weight gives you impressive chopping power, though it does take practice to master all its functions. The tumble finish protects against corrosion and helps reduce glare, especially if you find yourself in tactical settings. And that micarta handle stays grippy even when wet, plus a rotating Kydex sheath for flexible carry. And you've got a knife built for a serious situation. When space matters but durability still has to be top tier, the Armiger 4 steps in as that compact, no-nonsense field blade. It's basically come in two versions. One is US-made and the other is Taiwan-made. The US model feels a bit more refined, like every edge and screw got that extra bit of attention. The Taiwan version, on the other hand, keeps almost all the same features but costs less, which we appreciate. You get a Magna-cut steel blade at the core, drop point in shape, with a stone-washed finish. Magna-cut is quickly becoming one of the most respected steels in modern knife making because it balances hardness, toughness, and corrosion resistance extremely well. This blade runs full tang through the handle, which ensures strength in demanding situations. The handle itself is made from thermoplastic rubber, offering a cushioned, non-slip grip that holds steady in wet or cold environments. The sheath system is also clever. It uses a two-piece injection-molded Kydex design. Plus, a Velcro strap attachment secures the knife to your belt, and the setup feels straightforward and reliable. While the Armiger 4 does not have the reach of a larger blade, it is purpose-built for people who value compact durability above sheer chopping power. It's compact enough for everyday carry yet tough enough to handle serious field duty. Now, if you want a dependable everyday blade that works just as hard as the rest of your gear, the ZT512 slots right into that role effortlessly. Its CPM crew wear blade works hard, resists wear, and keeps its edge when things get rough, so basically it doesn't just look the part. Plus, it's surprisingly easy to sharpen when you need to bring it back to razor-sharp condition. Okay, one thing we really appreciate is the dark bronze Cerakote finish isn't just for looks. It adds a layer of protection against scratches and corrosion. Plus, the handle is an interesting mix. Natural canvas micarta on the front for grip and a dark bronze anodized titanium back that keeps it lightweight yet durable. We like the balance it gives, though we do feel the front micarta can get a little slippery if your hands are wet. The low-profile push-button lock is clever. It prevents accidental deployment, which we feel adds peace of mind, especially in a work setting. At just a bit over 4 ounces, it's light enough for pocket carry, but still feels substantial in hand. Overall, with real USA-made quality behind it, this knife feels like an actual tactical workhorse. Sometimes you need a tiny blade that still punches like a full-size tool, and that's exactly where the ESEE Izula proves itself. But don't let its size fool you. This little blade punches way above its weight in both toughness and utility. So basically, the Izula gets its name from the bullet ant of the Amazon. Small, but packing a punch, and this knife lives up to that reputation. It's the most popular model in the ESEE. Basically, there are 2 versions available of this model. Izula 1 comes with black G10 full-length handles, a blade length of 2.63 inches, and a blade thickness of about 0.15 inches, and it's made from 1095 high-carbon steel, hardened to 55 to 57 Rockwell, giving you a tough edge with plenty of bite. Now, without the sheath, it weighs just 2 ounces, which makes it quite a lightweight option to carry. And then there's the Izula 2, which takes the same design but adds about half an inch more handle length for a fuller grip, along with full-sized handle scales. It keeps the same blade length and thickness, with the same high-carbon steel. The weight bumps up slightly to 3.2 ounces without the sheath, but it still feels light and quick in hand. Both versions are compact, easy to carry, and highly versatile. Overall, the Izula proves that knives can be serious survival tools in a compact size also. When you want one knife that can bounce between camp work and tactical tasks, the Mamu slots right into that do-it-all niche. It's a versatile knife, hard-use blade that bridges the gap between tactical and outdoors ready. The blade is 420 HC spear point, which is tough and easy to sharpen, though it won't hold an edge as long as premium steels like S35VN or M390. Something to keep in mind if you're in extended use without access to sharpening tools. And it's available in satin or black PVD. Plus, the G10 handle with ergonomic shaping sits naturally in the hand, and the integrated bow drill socket adds an extra layer of utility. The knife comes with an injection-molded sheath using the Safe Lock belt attachment system, letting you carry it in multiple positions, which is handy when moving between hiking, chopping, or camp setup. At just a bit over a pound and over 11 inches overall, it's substantial. Some may find it a bit heavy for long carry, but that weight also gives confidence in every cut. And as a USA-made camp and survival knife, we can say the Mamu is versatile and quite durable. If quick deployment and a clean, no-fuss design are your priorities, the Launch 23 nails that simple, efficient vibe. With its automatic deployment and clean, compact profile, it's made for people who like efficiency at their fingertips. Talking about its blade, which is CPM 154 and is corrosion-resistant plus holds a sharp edge, giving reliable performance for everyday cutting or tactical tasks. Its blade length is 3.3-inch trailing point, which is precise and balanced, though it's not suited for heavy-duty chopping or prying, which limits its use in some scenarios. Now talking about its handle, it's the black anodized aluminum and feels lightweight enough, plus it has machined grooves for grip. But it isn't as aggressive as textured scales, so wet hands may require more attention. The low-profile push button reduces accidental deployments, and the deep carry reversible pocket clip makes it easy to carry left or right without obstruction. At a bit over 3 ounces, the knife disappears in a pocket, which is ideal for EDC or tactical concealment. USA-made gives confidence in materials and assembly quality. The only minor drawback is that the aluminum handle can feel a little cold or slick in winter or wet conditions. But overall, for everyday tactical or urban carry, the Launch 23 provides a reliable automatic solution. When precision matters more than brute force, the MKC V24 comes in with that sleek, combat-minded focus. This one is basically inspired by the iconic Fairbairn Sykes stiletto. This knife is all about agility and control in critical moments. With its Magna-Cut stainless steel, it offers a good balance of toughness and edge retention. But because it's a stiletto profile, the blade isn't suitable for chopping or heavy utility tasks, which is a limitation we need to accept. The full Tang G10 handle feels secure and balanced, making rapid movements easier, though the narrow grip can feel slightly cramped in larger hands during prolonged use. At just over 9 inches overall and a bit over 4-inch blade, the knife is compact enough for concealed carry, while still offering a serious tactical profile. The Cerakote finish improves corrosion resistance and reduces glare, but over time, abrasion may leave marks, so it isn't perfectly maintenance-free. For operators who need a combat-focused, compact knife with precise point control, the V24 is a practical choice. And we appreciate that the V24 is made in the USA, ensuring quality and reliability in materials and construction. If you want a knife that mixes movie-level fame with real tactical muscle, the Combat Troodon makes its entrance with authority. The name Troodon actually comes from the Greek word for wounding tooth. And yeah, it's a tough one, as it showed up in the John Wick 2 movie, which only boosted its fame. With the whole knife measuring around 9.5 inches overall, and talking about its blade length, it's about 3.8 inches long. Now, despite the size, it only weighs 5.3 ounces, thanks to some very refined engineering. Now, the handle is machined from 6061T6 aluminum, with deep texturing, so it feels secure in hand and sits comfortably during use. Inside, Microtech uses proprietary tri-wing hardware, and the deployment is incredibly smooth. Double action, so it opens and closes with the same switch. The blade steels they use are top tier too. What people love most is the balance between its substantial feel and its precision mechanics. It's large enough to give confidence in hand, yet still slim and easy to carry for what it is. Of course, the price is significant, usually starting in the $450 to $500 range. Plus, for some, the size alone is more than they'd ever need. Among serious collectors and professionals, this USA-made knife remains the benchmark for large tactical knives. When tradition still gets the job done, the Ka-Bar 1220 brings that old-school battlefield reliability into the modern day. A direct descendant of the World War II classic, carried by soldiers who trusted it for everything from field chores to close combat. And it still carries that old-school charm and the same battlefield reliability. The blade length is 7 inches, and the blade material is made from 1095 Crovan steel. It's easy to sharpen, tough enough to take a beating. Its black coating helps a bit with corrosion, though after some heavy use it'll wear and show scratches. Now, the leather handle is smooth at first but breaks in beautifully, shaping itself to your grip over time. Yeah, it's not fancy, but it feels like a tool built for work, not show. We'll admit, if you're used to modern micarta or G10 handles, the leather can feel a little slick when wet, so it's not the best in rain-soaked conditions. But as a traditional fighting knife and made in the USA, we can say it carries that unmistakable heritage, and it's balanced and solid too. If you need a blade that can clear brush like a machete, but still act like a survival knife, the Junglas II steps up with serious force. It's a powerhouse blade built for heavy work, designed to handle jungle duty and backwoods survival alike. Now, talking about its overall length, it's 14.5 inches, which we can say massive enough, with a cutting edge under 8 inches. So, right off the bat, you know this is not a delicate tool. But that size is what makes it so practical for heavy chopping and slicing tasks. The 1095 high-carbon steel blade is tough, holds a functional edge, and the textured powder coat keeps it protected against rust and scratches. We appreciate the removable micarta handles. They feel sturdy in hand, and the hammer pommel with a lanyard hole is a small but thoughtful touch for carrying or anchoring the knife. One thing we notice is the weight. At almost 20 ounces, it's not something you want to swing all day without getting tired, but it's perfect for the kind of heavy-duty cutting it was designed for. We appreciate how this knife bridges the gap between a machete and a proper survival tool. It can chop through thick brush or branches, yet still slice with precision when needed. So, overall, being made in the USA gives us confidence in the build quality and materials. Now, this one built from actual military requests, the Apache Dawn from Tops Knives brings serious reach and tactical confidence. So, this knife is designed for Apache helicopter pilots who needed more than standard issue. It's a full-size tactical blade that commands respect the second you grab it. And this Rockies edition carries that same field-ready spirit, but with some updated touches to make it even more versatile. Its overall length is about 11 7/8 inches, with a 6 3/4 inch blade that gives you serious reach. Weighing in at just under 1 pound, this knife strikes a balance of heft and speed, heavy enough to chop or power through tougher material but still agile in hand. The harpoon-style tip paired with a thin swedge helps push the blade downward on impact, creating a wider cut and excellent penetration. That versatility is exactly why it works well as both a field knife and a combat knife. The handle uses black G10 with Rocky Mountain tread, plus a pronounced finger guard, so grip is solid even when things get slippery. The knife weighs about 21 ounces with its sheath and is MOLLE compatible. Altogether, being USA made, it's a tough, versatile blade with carry options that fit real-world tactical setups. So, that was our list of 25 USA-made tactical military knives you should see. Thanks for watching. Feel free to reveal your thoughts in the comments section and share this video if you find it helpful.